Hello everybody, this is Danny from Deep South Homestead. It's been a very trying day for the homestead. We almost lost a mama and a kid. It was one of those moments. The weather was really bad. Tornado watches everywhere, storming rainy weather and everything. As soon as it passed so that I could get back outside, I told Wanda, I says, I better go check the animals in the barn because our animals stay in the barn when the weather gets like that. I went out to the barn and I said, well, while I'm out here, I might as well just feed them. So, because it was like 3 o'clock in the evening. So I got some feed out and took it into the goats. And they all come running up. I was feeding them in the trough. So I happened to notice Zoe, one of our female goats, is pregnant, made a funny noise. And I kind of looked at her a little bit strange, and I walked around and looked behind her because Ellie Mae had her kid about a week ago, and I knew Zoe was going to be within a week or so afterwards, sometime in that time frame. And I looked, and she had a heavy discharge mucus hanging out the back of her. Well, I automatically knew what that meant, but I looked, she hadn't dilated hardly any. And I checked her over her tail arch back there. There was no soft tissue or anything. I was like, this is not going to be a good one, you know. So I came to the house, I got Wanda, got a camera, and we went back out there. And she was up eating just like she normally would, but then all of a sudden she went into hard labor and she was just screaming. But then she would quit. And I told Wanda, I said, we need to get her in a stall where she can be by herself. So I managed to get her in a stall, put her some feed in the trough in the stall, and she would eat on it just a minute. But then all of a sudden she just laid down and she went to screaming at the top of her lungs. I mean, she sounded like she was just horrified, you know. The other goats didn't do that, but this one's just screaming. She was in pain, I could tell. And I got to noticing as the animal was trying to be born, part of the afterbirth and 1 foot is all that was coming out of her. So I went and put my rubber gloves on and came back and started doing an exam on her, and I found the other hoof up in her, and I actually got it turned and got it coming out with the other hoof, and I could feel the nose and everything was in line. So I said, well, we'll just let her go. But I realized there was no dilation there at all, hardly, and this animal was not going to be born. After about 15 minutes of her screaming at the top of her lungs, I looked at Wanda and I said, you better put some gloves on. This one's not going to be able to be born. I did not know if I was going to have to cut her to open her up enough that she could be born, because I didn't want to lose the mother and the baby. But Wanda got her gloves on, and Wanda's had midwife training. So she got in there and began to help me. As I got both front feet out, the head would not come out. Well, Wanda began to run her fingers around and around the head and inside the goat until finally we was able to get the nose out, and the goat was pushing and screaming. It took like 10 or 15 minutes of this. And finally we got it pulled out, and the mother and the little goat's doing fine. Now, we're going to show you some pictures. Now, we didn't get the actual birth because it took both of us, and we didn't have a tripod with us or anything. We just had a camera out there with us. So we didn't get the actual birth, but we did get a few pictures here and there of some things, and we'll show you that now. And we were blessed. Now, this baby goat is jet black. It has no white on it nowhere. It's just like its daddy. And we have a special name for this one, and we'll talk about it at the end of the video. See how her tail's sticking straight up?
Yeah, it was this morning. We are on baby watch again. We already have one little one.
She hasn't. She's one of them kind that keeps on going.
Yeah.
She wouldn't like Ellie Mae. Come on.
Yeah, there's something there, but
Hope it ain't breech.
yeah. I thought I saw a foot though.
No, there's 1 foot only, but then there's the placenta and all that. I
Oh.
feel the nose. I don't feel the other foot.
Uh-oh.
That ain't good. That's why she's having trouble.
Yeah.
The placenta's trying to come out with the feet.
Uh-oh. Zoe, you're gonna create issues, aren't you, dear?
I get water all over me.
There she goes. Let's see if you... It's there.
There's the other foot. She's just not dilating.
Yeah, she's just tired.
Okay, guys, we had another baby born to Miss Zoe. We had to pull this one. It wouldn't come. Zoe didn't dilate like she needed to, and our hopes is that she will be okay. Because it was really it was a difficult birth. She doing a lot of screaming and hollering, and we're just hoping that we didn't hurt the baby in some way by having to pull so hard to actually get it out. Wanda's trying to help dry it off a little bit because we got some bad weather come through, and it's supposed to turn very cold tonight. So we want to make sure it's dried off as much as possible. Miss Wanda's doing the doctor thing there.
Zoe's my baby. I have to take care of her baby. Come on, sweetheart. Okay, come on. There you go. Mommy take care of baby.
Yeah, she's doing more than Ellie Mae did.
Yeah, she's loving on her baby.
Yeah, that's her baby. But we know that it was a traumatic birth for her because we had to pull it. And we're just praying that there's no damage on the inside of Zoe.
Yeah. Come on, Mama. This is my Zoe.
Okay, guys, so I know you've seen the clips now. So, what do you think of Zoe's shadow? Because as we tried to film this goat, it was always in her shadow, and because it's completely black, we couldn't get it on camera very many times. It kept blending in with the shadows, and you could not see it. And we had to sit and constantly wait for this animal to get out from underneath her or out beside her where we could actually get the videos of it. So God's been good. This is our second baby to be born on the homestead. And the thing about it is God has given us 2 more females, because Shadow is what we're going to call her, and it is a female. So we've added 2 more girl goats to our herd, which means that now we have the potential to have a lot of babies next year. So we feel like the Lord is setting us up really well in this. We're blessed. We feel like that things were good, even though it was a trying time, and we almost lost them both, because guys, had we not been out there, had I not went after the storm to check on them, we could have easily lost her, because she had already been in labor for a while. I could tell when she went to giving birth, she just went to just screaming at the top of her lungs, non-stop. And once the baby's born, I did something a lot of people don't do, but I put molasses in her water in her stall. And immediately she drank like a half a gallon of it right off the bat. I put her a big cup of food in there. She ate all that food. She was eating hay when we left. The baby had nursed, and the baby was all laying down because we got cold weather coming in here tonight. We was a little concerned about that. But she licked the baby up good and cleaned it up. The baby's all fuzzy and dry. Everything's good. She's got plenty of hay in the stall, as you've seen. So guys, we're thankful that we have a new kid at Deep South Homestead. So thank you guys from Deep South Homestead.